Good afternoon, Dean Scheinman, Dr. Jeffries, honored inductees, friends, and family. Welcome to the 7th annual already Alpha Omega Alpha induction ceremony of the Theta chapter of Pennsylvania. My name is Margaret Shoemaker, and I serve as the counselor for our chapter. For over a century, recognition by AOA has been a meaningful academic accomplishment, but the eligibility criteria are much broader than that. Among the many positive attributes to be inducted into AOA are leadership, respect for all others, professionalism, and high ethical standards. So these attributes are as critical now for the profession of medicine and society in general as they were in 1902 when AOA was founded. On that note, I would like to hand the podium over to Dean Scheinman for our opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shoemaker, and it really is an honor to have been asked to address you. This is, as Dr. Shoemaker said, the 7th induction ceremony for the Theta Pennsylvania chapter of AOA. The mission of AOA goes beyond recognizing mere academic excellence. It is to honor the intent of William Root and the other founders of AOA that medical graduates should be worthy to serve the suffering. That's a phrase you're going to hear a lot this afternoon. So membership in AOA combines the recognition of excellent academic performance with the celebration of strength of character and commitment to service. AOA was founded in 1902. So let's think for a minute about what medical school was like for William Root and his friends, and the state of medical education in general at the dawn of the 20th century. It would be a decade before Abraham Flexner would issue his scathing report on the shabby state of medical education. Medical schools abounded, many of them for profit, none of them held to any accreditation standards. There were no standard pre-medical preparation expectations. Almost no medical schools required a college degree. Many required no college work at all. You could go to medical school straight from high school. There was no standard curriculum in medical school, no commonly assumed basis of preparation for the clinical work. As called out by Flexner in his report in 1910, teaching facilities varied widely. He described medical schools with no laboratories, and in one case, and get this, anatomical dissection taking place in a chicken coop. Many medical schools had no relationships to hospitals. Johns Hopkins had just recently introduced the notion of residency training, and hospitals elsewhere were just beginning to create formal residency programs, but it was still common for students simply to take their degrees and find apprenticeship opportunities. The AMA had introduced a code of medical ethics at its founding in 1847, and state medical boards had been forming since the end of the 19th century. But the formal network of the Federation of State Medical Boards was still a decade off. Few, if any, medical schools administered anything like a Hippocratic oath with its expectation of exemplary ethical behavior. So this was the state of medical education in 1902, when William Root was a medical student in Chicago and was scandalized by the immature and unprofessional attitudes and behaviors of his fellow medical students. Professional identity formation, a phrase that you hear us using a lot, professionalism, the expectation of integrity were clearly not part of medical curricula. They were not expressed as goals by schools. They were not enforced as standards. Root wrote, AOA was started as a protest against a condition which associated the name medical student with rowdyism, boorishness, immorality, and low educational ideals. And be it noted, such protests arose entirely from students, not one member of the faculty having been consulted. I wasn't there back then, and I can only imagine this. But typically when the students got a good idea, they might often just bounce it off a few faculty members. The fact that he's explicitly saying, we didn't discuss this with a single faculty member, I think tells us a lot about the faculty's indifference to student behavior. So Root and 8 of his medical classmates gathered and founded Alpha Omega Alpha. They wrote its constitution, which states that the duties of AOA members are, this is a quote from the Constitution, to foster the scientific and philosophical features of the medical profession, to look beyond self to the welfare of the profession and of the public, to cultivate social mindedness as well as an individualistic attitude towards responsibilities. In other words, to take ownership, the phrase we often use, to show respect for colleagues, especially for elders and teachers. Remember that. To foster research, and in all ways ennoble the profession of medicine and advance it in public opinion. The founding of AOA, to my thinking, represents a watershed moment in the maturation of the medical profession. Standing alongside the creation of residency training during that era and beyond, the revolution in medical education sparked by the Flexner Report, and the establishment of formal processes of accreditation and licensure. AOA's constitution represented a critical formal acknowledgement of the importance of these values of selflessness, integrity, respect, and service as inherent in the role of the physician. And these principles are completely congruent with the mission and culture of this medical school. More than most, we emphasize and value character as much as scientific knowledge. This was paramount in how we selected your class for admission. It's been paramount in what we have sought to teach you during your time here. And it has been paramount, of course, in how you were selected for this honor. We honor you today for your academic excellence, yes, but more importantly, because you exemplify the values of AOA. The ceremony comes at a time when the mission and principles of AOA have never been more meaningful. Being worthy to serve the suffering means recognizing that you bring to the patient your best knowledge and skills and also your own personal sense of responsibility for their welfare. The COVID pandemic has highlighted the heroism of physicians everywhere who have embraced this responsibility in the face of very real personal risk. On the wall in the lobby of the medical school building is an aphorism. You could all recite it with your eyes closed. The role of the physician is to cure sometimes, relieve often, comfort always. By that great source of wisdom, anonymous. We really don't know who originated it. The plaque incorrectly claims that it dates to the 15th century. It's not true. That phrase appeared hundreds of years before that. But regardless, it emphasizes a fundamental truth. When you can cure, that's great. It's wonderful, but it's usually not the case. When you can relieve suffering, you must do all you can to do so. But in every case, every single case, offering comfort is a fundamental role of the physician. You have been selected for AOA because your faculty were confident that you are worthy of this great obligation. I share their confidence that you are worthy to serve the suffering. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Scheinman, for those wonderful motivational comments. And I have no doubt that Edward Root is applauding you right now, and that he would wholeheartedly approve of our medical education at Geisinger Commonwealth School of Medicine, and that he would join us in welcoming these inductees today. So Thank you. Thank you very much. So now it is my pleasure to proceed to the induction of our faculty members. Each class has the opportunity to nominate and then to promote and then to elect just 2 of our many deserving faculty members to be included with them in this annual AOA induction. Traditionally, we have selected 1 more senior faculty member and then 1 more junior faculty member, which might also be a fellow or resident. I am very happy to say that the first of these special inductees is Dr. Dominic Zampino. Dr. Zampino serves as the Associate Regional Dean at the AtlantiCare campus in Atlantic City. I would like you to hear an excerpt from the letter that he was sent inviting him to join us today. Dear Dr. Zampino, AOA is an organization founded to promote academic excellence accompanied by evidence of scholastic achievement and attributes of professionalism, leadership, adherence to ethical standards, fairness in dealing with colleagues, achievement in medicine, and a record of service to school and community. Dr. Zampino, you have demonstrated these desirable qualities by role modeling professionalism, leadership, and advocacy. In your role as Associate Regional Dean, you have served as a role model for many of our students at Geisinger Commonwealth School of Medicine. You prioritize the needs of students and ensure that administrative concerns work for rather than compete with students' needs. Your open door approach assures that students feel heard and have what they need to become excellent physicians. Special initiatives such as immersive service opportunities to engage students with the realities of health disparities provided meaningful clinical and life lessons. A grateful student commented, Dr. Zampino moved mountains for the class of 2021 at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic to ensure that we would be mentally and physically safe from harm and that our medical education would continue. His integrity in taking full responsibility for AtlantiCare students at all times is deeply appreciated. Dr. Zampino, the class of 2021 Theta Chapter students and I congratulate you and welcome you to AOA. I think I hear a lot of applause. All right. Our next faculty inductee is Dr. Leonard Walsh. Dr. Walsh is a 2017 graduate of GCSOM. After completing a residency in internal medicine, he has returned to the area and is currently completing a gastroenterology fellowship up at Guthrie. I would like to share an excerpt from his letter as well. Dear Dr. Walsh, AOA is an organization founded to promote academic excellence accompanied by evidence of scholastic achievement and attributes of professionalism, leadership, adherence to ethical standards, fairness in dealing with colleagues, achievement in medicine, and a record of service to school and community. Dr. Walsh, you have demonstrated these desirable qualities, particularly by role modeling professionalism, patient-centered care, and dedication to teaching. Since returning to our region, you have served as a role model for many of our students at Geisinger Commonwealth School of Medicine. Students note your preparedness and patience during clinical encounters. Your patient-centered approach of engaging patients and families and fully addressing their concerns has positively impacted our learners, by demonstrating what was learned in preclinical years is possible in the busy clinical environment as well. Much appreciated is your effort to optimize the learning experience of your students by ensuring appropriate patient encounters and providing regular direct observation and meaningful feedback. In addition, you enthusiastically guided students as they queried you on the navigation process for the residency selection. Dr. Walsh, the class of 2021 Theta chapter students and I congratulate you and welcome you to AOA. Thunderous applause. So now it is my honor to proceed to the induction of our AOA Theta of PA class of 2021. It is of note that the selection process actually had a modification this year, which was developed by the selection committee to broaden, to become more inclusive and offer a greater opportunity for students to be selected and inducted. We started with more than 60 eligible applicants or candidates. We received input from regional campuses specifically regarding these very special attributes, as mentioned by Dean Scheinman, that are valued in AOA. And then these results were sent on to the selection committee, leading to the selection of the remarkable group of young professionals that you see with us on the call today. Inductees, I will call each of you in turn alphabetically. Please place your honor cord once you are highlighted on the screen so we can observe that. Matthew Adams. Alexander Anselmi. Michael Belko. Alexa Bollock.
Good afternoon. By the way, when you see the yellow light ring on your device, it means that a notification from
Kelly Chen.
read my notifications.
Jessica Knapp. Megan Lozier. Charmine Meehan. Mara Morgan. Rosa Roman.
I apologize. I do not have my cords right now. Thank you, though.
Make sure to bring it tomorrow.
Lauren Schumacher. Lauren Skudowski. Catherine Snyder. Elizabeth Stackhouse. Michelle Stefanelli. Daniel Silvestri. Robin Tanner. Thaddeus Wright. Okay, and now if we can switch back, everyone, to gallery view. And I think all the inductees should now unmute their mics, show your videos. Let's get back on gallery here. Right. And we are going to enjoy a recitation of the oath created by our AOA class of 2019. The oath will be led by Thaddeus Wright, president of the 2021 AOA group. Please join him in reading the oath simultaneously. Thaddeus, I'll turn that over to you.
Okay. I solemnly pledge all life of service to my patients.
I solemnly pledge myself to a life of service and patience.
I will give to my teachers my gratitude for their wisdom and follow their example in the education of future generations.
I will give to my teachers my gratitude for their wisdom and follow their example in the education of future generations.
Her lips are moving, that's why they have her on screen.
I will practice my profession with integrity, recognize the limits of my knowledge, and continue to learn throughout my career.
I will practice my profession with integrity, recognize the limits of my knowledge, and continue to learn throughout my career.
I will remember that open communication is the foundation of my patients' well-being.
I will
We'll
remember
remember that open communication is the foundation of our patient well-being.
There you are again.
I will oppose policies that breach human rights and never permit discrimination of any kind to intervene between myself and my duty to my patients.
I will
Those policies
that breach human
rights
rights and never
never permit discrimination of any kind
Between myself and my duty to my patients.
I will continue to recognize that the practice of medicine is a privilege and will maintain my own wellness to be the best physician for my patients.
I will
continue to recognize that the practice of medicine is a privilege and
maintain my own
wellness to be the best physician for my patients.
Thank you. Well, Thaddeus, so I plan to, begin after the oath by saying, wasn't that wonderful? But wasn't that a little bit of an IT hot mess? So well done, group. Well done. All right. So at this point in the program, I'm going to turn the podium over to Dr. William Jeffries and our Vice Dean of Medical Education for some closing remarks. And to avoid echo, everybody please remute.
Thanks, Dr. Shoemaker. And I was going to have everybody recite the speech along with me, but I think we'll skip that part. But it really is an honor to speak before all of you and get a chance to address the inductees for 2021. The academic excellence represented here today makes me confident that our patients are in good hands. Each of you have been chosen as exemplars to the medical community of everything an excellent physician stands for: passionate scholarship, outstanding clinical skill, and compassionate patient care and alleviation of suffering. Even more extraordinary is the fact that these achievements happened and indeed were amplified during an historic pandemic that disrupted the rhythms of your expected educational experience, your relationships with patients, classmates, faculty, and families, and your own practices of personal well-being. All of these disturbances were met with style and grace, and many of you rose to create new ways to support each other, to enhance your service to patients, and to continue to learn even in the face of this terrible disease. And many of you on the call also rose to help the school administer a curriculum during these troubled times. Those patients who were sickened and even those who died benefited from your service. The exhausted faculty and residents were buoyed by your presence, and we in the administration were supported by your leadership and caring. I'm heartened to know that all of you, the very best that GCSOM has to offer, will soon enter service to patients as residents. I am certain that you will continue to be an inspiration to future students, and hopefully we will someday see you return to GCSOM as a faculty member to continue to set the example and inspire and improve your alma mater. I would also like to thank our faculty inductees whose scholarship and clinical skill led the Honor Medical Society to recognize their accomplishments and formally acknowledge them as being among the best of our physician faculty. And finally, I want to acknowledge Dr. Margaret Shoemaker, whose dedication and devotion to excellence has steered the AOA on a steady and successful course. Students, regardless of your ultimate practice site, please know that we wish you the very best and thank you for your achievements and your participation as our newest members of the Alpha Omega Alpha Medical Honor Society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Jeffries. Wonderful closing comments. I would also like to underscore how proud we are of all of you, and just to warn you that we have set very high expectations for your futures. We hope to see many, many of you back here working as junior faculty and colleagues with us in the not too distant future. So congratulations to all the inductees. Thank you everyone for attending. Special thanks also to Kara Badurka, who worked very hard to make this a pleasant induction ceremony in the Zoom platform, and also to Heather Davis, who is our photography support star. So at this point, although our ceremony is complete, if you would just stay online for another moment or two, I'm going to turn things over to Heather so she can grab some memorable screenshots of this 2021 AOA induction. And there is our youngest inductee, only what, 5 months old, something like that.
Yep, 5 months.
All right. Heather, I'll turn it over to you.
So everyone stay on screen, even the speakers, Dr. Scheinman and Dr. Jeffries. And I'm just gonna just smile. And I'm gonna take a few different screenshots. Isn't this weird? Smiling.
Congratulations.
All right, and now if Dr. Scheinman and Dr. Jeffries, if you could go off video so I could just get the inductees. And Dr. Shoemaker, do you want to stay on or do you want me to get it without you in it?
I'll exit.
Okay. All right, keep smiling, keep smiling. This is COVID group shot, yay. All right, we're good. Thank you so much. Congratulations again.
Heather, thank you for everything you do.
Congratulations.
Big hug, everybody.